hello, everyone. Hello, YouTubers. This is Anonymous T. Hope you're having an amazing day today. So today we're talking Love and Marriage Huntsville. Today there is follow-up, you guys, from all of the drama surrounding Phonics Unhooked, you guys. Surrounding Phonics Unhooked. And I just want to understand at this point what people were expecting to happen when you get involved with Phonics Unhooked. Ever since she has been a part of the show, everything has taken a nosedive for the worse, you guys. Has taken a nosedive for the worse, that we are now talking about in 2022, death threats, threatening to kill people, an alleged fight actually happening because of something Phonics Unhooked said, right? About the Holt kids once again. She's made completely disparaging comments about them multiple times, which has escalated to a fight. And so now she makes a post coming for Black Titanic, another YouTuber, and she tags in her daughter and tags Funky Dineva, and everything has exploded, you guys. Everything has exploded, and apparently, allegedly, now the authorities are involved. Now the authorities are investigating this post, you guys. So there is that. But there's a lot of fallout, because I think originally Funky Dineva did a video, but it was mainly about Black Titanic. He did not say anything, that was really too bad or anything of that nature about Phonics Unhooked. All he really talked about was the purpose of him being in Huntsville over the weekend. And then I guess there were some people who, came for him and were like, you're in cahoots with Phonics Unhooked, and you planned this. You were sent there by Carlos King to do damage control for the Scots. And the fact that you're not condemning Phonics Unhooked for tagging you in that, disrespectful post, and, the picture of, the body in the ditch and everything else, that you are culpable as well. So, and this reminds me of the Tasha K situation. I'm having deja vu of the Tasha K situation, you guys. Because if you guys will remember on Fox Soul, when it was first reported, about the Tasha K and Cardi B stuff, initially, Funky Dineva didn't want to speak on it, right? He did not want to speak on it. He didn't want any parts of it because he was cool with Tasha K. And so then what happens? Then what happens is the chat went off and was like, oh, you're not saying anything because you're friends with her, blah, 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 blah. And so then when they came back from break, he went off. He went off and totally, gave a totally different, tune or what have you on the matter. And it's just wild, you guys. It's just wild. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like I tell you guys time and time again, I'm always going to keep it a buck with you. I'm always going to give my honest opinion. Nobody is safe. There are people who have agreed and disagreed with me, and it's fine. There are reality stars who have agreed and disagreed with my opinions, but it has never escalated to any of this, you guys. It has never escalated to where anything has to involve getting the authorities involved. Like that's crazy. That is insanity, you guys. But I think the actual thing is, I recall hearing that comment before on Fox Soul about if you dig a ditch for one, make sure you dig another ditch, whatever. I've heard that before, so I don't know if that was the purpose that Phonics Unhooked tagged Funky Dineva in the post in the first place, or if that is why people were speculating that Funky Dineva, whether or not he coached or said something to where it led to this post and was like, well, yeah, you can tag me in it or whatever. But the problem now is authorities are involved. So now you have to denounce this because you don't want to look like you are a part of some conspiracy or some plot to take out another YouTuber. But also, I don't think Funky Dineva has the full context of everything that's happened. He doesn't have the context of how all of this started in the first place. And this started in the first place was because they came for Black Titanic first, you guys. They were not happy with her, and they came for her first. So she, in response, was like, oh, you want to go here? Okay, let me release your T. Let me release your 9 arrests. And let's see if you have the same energy. And so then they still were coming for her even harder and demanding her to take down her YouTube videos. And at that point, she was like, well, wait a minute. Like, I thought y'all were going to leave me alone. Like, I thought after this, you were going to leave me alone. And that did not happen. And she had, kind of alluded to having some additional tea on the Scots and on Phonics Unhooked that could blow this whole thing wide open. But she was choosing to keep it quiet because she knew it was going to cause a firestorm. But with that being said, as a result, ever since Phonics Unhooked and now her niece Casper, like, they're all doing these Instagram lives and the like, trying to get clout, trying to get attention. And part of it is strategic. Part of it is because they're under the mindset that any publicity is good publicity, even if it is something negative that they directly said and or did, you guys. But the problem is, the reason why Black Titanic believes what she believes based off of that post is because you previously have had Phonics Unhooked and her cousin in a car talking about guns and killing her coworkers on Love and Marriage Huntsville. You've previously just had a fight happen allegedly between, Martel and Marceau regarding Phonics Unhooked's comments about the Holt kids. And once again, something escalating because of something reckless that she has said. And now it is a liability, you guys. Now Phonics Unhooked is a liability. And Carlos King needs to think about moving forward how he wants to approach this. And I hope that there is not a spinoff for the Scots and for, Phonics Unhooked and her family and everything else. Because when you're dealing with people who feel like they can say anything and do anything, there's no bottom for them. There is no low for them that they feel is too far. And obviously, people who have already been arrested multiple times for other crimes are not going to care about making other threats as well, right? Because they're already, they don't care about any of that. So here we are. Now, where I do disagree with Funky Dineva also is when he said that the Melody fans, the Millimeters, are like the beehive, and compared the Scott fans as being on the same length as the Millimeters. That is where I disagree with you. That is where I disagree because, number one, no Millimeter that I am aware of, nobody that supports Melody Cherie that I am aware of, has ever made any threats about taking somebody's life, or has made any threats about gun violence, or has made any threats about killing somebody. All of, the people who have been in support of Melody Cherie have directly called out the behavior and the actions of Phonics Unhooked and the Scots. That is the basis of their issue. It has never escalated to the point that they are sending death threats to people. And that has something that has happened from fans of the Beehive, you guys. Remember the whole Rachel Roy situation in Lemonade? And they were like sending death threats to like her daughter because they thought she was Becky with the good hair. That Beyonce was referencing from the Lemonade album. So they literally sent death threats, you guys. That has never taken place from a Millimeter or from anybody who supports Melody Cherie. Secondly, I am inclined to believe that the people who like Melody Cherie and who identify themselves as Millimeters, I am inclined to believe that they are also successful like Melody Cherie. So they like her because they like her go-getter mentality. They like her because she turned her own lemons into lemonade. They like her because regardless of all the negativity that her cast members are trying to throw her way, whether it's via these Instagram lives, whether it's these interviews, she still is thriving. She still is thriving. She is still making money moves. And it is, bringing more positivity into her own life, you guys. And I can't say the same for the people who are supporting the Scots, you guys. The same people who are supporting the Scots are the people who keep coming, for anybody that condemns their behavior. And I just implore to ask you, even if you support them or whatever, right? That's your own right. I'm not here to influence people on whether or not they should like somebody or whatever. I strictly react to whatever it is they're doing, right? But if you are a supporter of Phonics Unhooked and you find her entertaining, and if you are a supporter of the Scots and you like them, how can you, justify what has been happening, you guys, over the past few months? How can you justify the behavior of Phonics Unhooked and what this has escalated to? That once again, authorities need to be involved with something involving her. Like, how is that defensible? And then there's people who are defending the arrests and saying, oh, well, it may not be a big deal or this and that. And it's like, whoa. It is one thing if you got arrested for something that you did wrong. You paid your debt to society, whatever the consequences of that charge was, and you have changed your life since then, and you have not been in trouble since then. But the problem is now, with these receipts of all of these arrests, and all of these rumors of some additional crimes that may or may have not taken place, you are continuing the same behavior that got you arrested in the first place, you guys. The bullying, the hating, the fighting, the stealing even, like all of it is all coming back. So how can you support that and defend that and say that arrests are no big deal when the people who got arrested are not exhibiting any type of change behavior, any type of remorse? In fact, they tried to lie. And they tried to allegedly have a blogger lie on their behalf and say that there were 0 arrests and that it wasn't them. But if it wasn't them that got arrested, why were they demanding Black Titanic to take down her video? Because if it wasn't true and it wasn't them, why would you care what Black Titanic has to say? And I never understand the shade of how many followers a small content creator has, you guys. Especially with how difficult it is for Black content creators in this YouTube space to begin with. Everybody, whether you have 0 followers or you have millions of followers on YouTube, you all started somewhere, you guys. You all started at one point in time with 0 followers, just like a lot of these other content creators who are coming up are. And also, I wanted to fact check, Black Titanic does not have 2,000 subscribers. I believe she has near 5,500 subscribers. So she has definitely grown very quickly on her platform, as a result of all of, the things that she has done on her channel, all of the work that she has done on her channel, even prior to all of this nonsense with Phonics Unhooked, you guys, and the Scots. So I never understand shading people based off of how many followers you have, because I don't feel that that makes you better or worse than somebody else. At the end of the day, everybody is all trying to win. Everybody is all trying to be successful. Everybody is all trying to build their own platforms. And there is always going to be people who have more than you, and there is always going to be people who have less than you. But that doesn't mean, that because Black Titanic has less followers than you, that she's not relevant or that she's not important or that she's not doing anything, when in fact, if she wasn't any of those things, why hasn't anybody ignored her? Why aren't people ignoring Black Titanic if she is so irrelevant, you guys? Because that's what I want to know. If she's so irrelevant, why is she getting all of this attention? And why do her number of followers matter if she has reached the attention of the Love and Marriage Huntsville cast and other people in Huntsville that went to give her tea about the cast? So that's what I mean when people make certain statements like, oh, well, this person only has X amount of followers or this person only has X amount of money, as if that's like elevating you to be better than them. But you are also making them relevant because you're also talking about them. You're also getting attention brought to them as well with your platform to have people tune in now to her channel. So I never understand that, you guys. I never understand that. And this should be a lesson that it doesn't matter how many subscribers you have on YouTube. If you are making enough noise that reality stars and celebrities and people who are famous are reaching out to you, are sending you emails, are in your DMs, you are doing something. You are relevant. You are making noise, and people are watching you. And that has nothing to do with your number of subscribers, whether you have 0 subscribers or 1 million subscribers, you guys. So I didn't understand that at all, because essentially all you had to do was simply just announce that you had nothing to do with this. But the other shade and some of the other stuff, like none of that we didn't need to go there, right? We did not need to go there. And so now apparently there's also another blogger that's implicated because of, what was referenced in the video and everything else. And it's just an entire mess, you guys. It is an entire mess, and it's unfortunate. It is unfortunate, but back to the original issue at hand is when you are a reality star, you sign contracts that state you have no control on how you are going to be perceived or edited on television and the like, you guys. You sign away that right. You can be edited as a villain. You could be edited as an angel. As we can see, even this season alone, we know Mel has 20 businesses that she's got at least for Money Making Mel, and instead they want to focus in on her drama or whatever drama that she has going on with Destiny or Letitia or whomever. They only really featured her premiere of the skincare line, right? But she has taught, over 500 women, about real estate, property management. She's gone on several speaking engagements. She has, some acting gigs. She's released a few singles of music. She's got clothing lines. She's got merchandise. She just released the body care line from her 7th Avenue skincare. She's done books in the past. She has other books that are coming out. There is always things that Melody Cherie has going on, but instead it's been a focus of negativity. It's been a focus of drama. Meanwhile, you are focusing on other people's so-called businesses that are in empty offices, that are in, with no clientele, with no product, with no employees, that you want the viewers to take seriously, that you're trying to elevate and make a boss. And that's why I laugh, because I'm like, well, if you're such a boss, how do you have all this time on Instagram and social media to go back and forth with people? Not everybody is going to like you, and not everybody is going to be for you. And you can't bully content creators. You can't bully YouTubers into saying things that you want them to say about you, or bribing them with money. Because then that's when it gets into ethics and integrity, you guys. And what put you on the map was your opinion about some of these reality stars and what you think of the cast of Love and Marriage Huntsville. But if you are going to, but if you're going to base your content on whether or not you have a personal relationship with people, or whether or not they like you or like what you have to say about them, then we're already heading down the wrong road, you guys. We are already heading down the wrong road, because that should not be your focus. Your focus should be about whatever you want your brand to be, and to bring it with the right morals, the right level of integrity, and the right purpose. But when you start to blur those lines and certain lines start to get crossed, these are the things that escalate, you guys. These are the things that happen to the point that the authorities get involved. So I am just curious of what Carlos King thinks about all of this. Because, as you know, on his late night show, he's like giving, Phonics Unhooked a segment and everything else to just talk trash about whoever. And it's just like, that can lead to toxicity, you guys. That leads to toxicity, and that's where we're at now. We are at the toxicity. Because people ignored the red flags for all this time, and now it has escalated to just nothing but violence. And the one other point that I wanted to make before I conclude this video is the reason that Black Titanic had made the video about what her interpretation of that post was is because she was also getting threats behind the scenes. This wasn't just about the post that happened that tagged Tisha and Funky Dineva. She was also getting threats behind the scenes. So she did that public video because she wanted to make it known that, hey, if you don't hear from me, or if something has happened to me, you know why. So that it's on the record. And that is why she did that. And that is why, the lights were out and everything else, because it was a lot. It was a lot. Nobody wants to go through that. Nobody wants to be harassed and, trying to be bullied off of their own platform that they're trying to grow for simply telling the truth about something. But I am glad that the authorities are involved. But again, to these reality stars, people are always going to dig. And like I said, in the event that they feel that there is something about you that is suspicious, that there is something about you that they feel that you are not being 100 about, that you're not being transparent about, that you are lying about, or that you are trying to hide, that is when these things happen. That is when people start to go dig. Oh, you said you've never cheated on your wife. You said you don't have 20 girlfriends. Okay, let me go investigate and see if there's mistresses. Let me find out if there's any friends of mistresses, the alleged mistresses that want to talk. But this started with your own family that was not on the show, that confirmed the cheating rumors back in season 1, you guys. That's what's so funny. The actual, the reason this all started was because of your own family. Your own family saw the publicity, saw the attention Love and Marriage Huntsville was getting in that first season, and they were like, yeah, our brother cheats, both of our brothers cheated on their wives, and blah, blah, blah. Like, they went into this whole thing. And people keep forgetting that. This started in your own backyard. This started with your own family that leaked out there that you guys were cheaters. It just so happens now that there's been some suspect things that other bloggers have picked up, other stories over the years to report on it. But this started with your family. And even this issue at hand has started with your family. Because your family keeps getting on Instagram and keeps getting on these platforms, talking reckless, that leads to this other things escalating. And that is why we are here. That is why we were here. So there is that. But let me know your guys' thoughts about all this. What do you guys think about Funky Dineva's comments about, denouncing Wanda now? And now apparently doesn't want or isn't going to be reviewing Love and Marriage Huntsville in the future as a result of all of this foolishness, you guys. But this is what happens. And that's why I laughed. I'm like, wait a minute. There's no way that millimeters are anywhere in comparison to the fans of the Scotts, because they've never threatened anybody. They've never threatened anybody. They've never threatened to kill anybody. They're not bragging about guns and coming after people. They're not threatening anybody in their DMs or in their messages or in their comments. People are mature enough to have a disagreement. People are mature enough to say, you know what? I don't agree with your take. I don't agree with your viewpoint. But it has never escalated to this. So you cannot say that the millimeters and the fans of the Scotts are on the same playing field, because that's not the case. That's not the case at all. So there's that. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. What do you guys think about all of this that has now escalated, and now the authorities are investigating the post from Phonics Unhooked about, the threats and whatever was trying to be implied with that picture and tagging Tisha and Funky Dineva into that post, you guys. Now all of that is being looked into by the authorities. So there is that. So we will monitor this and see what comes of this, and see what, if there's going to be any consequences or anything that happens as a result. So we'll monitor it now. And go from there. But let me know what you guys think about this. What do you guys think of how this has escalated and the reaction now? So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.